We are fighting for not the America that the founders attempted to build, but which they built by accident. Yeah. This idea of a pluralistic, multiracial democracy in which there is no state religion, there is no king, no one can come into your home without a warrant. They cannot put you on trial without a trial. They cannot incarcerate you without due process. That is literally, go back. And I think it's a good exercise for everyone who's watching this on all of our channels. And I hope you guys are subscribed, as Don said, to all of our channels, wherever you're watching this right now, whether you're on social media, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Substack, wherever you are, take a moment and go back and read the Declaration of Independence, because the things that they were screaming out against, the things that the King of England was doing to his subjects in the United States are literally what Donald Trump and Project 2025 are doing right now to U.S. citizens, to immigrants, to people with DACA, to people who are hardworking construction workers, agriculture workers who are literally keeping this country fed. They're doing all the things that were inveighed against in the Declaration of Independence. They're violating it. They're playing in our face. And the fact that they feel comfortable literally violating all of the things that the King of England, doing what replicating the King of England's way of governing his colonies and turning us all into the colonized in our face a year before the birthday of the United States Declaration of Independence, and then saying they're going to build a monument to Donald Trump bigger than the Lincoln Memorial. They're literally laughing at y'all while robbing you. And tonight, while we are at No Kings rallies and covering the No Kings rallies, that man is going to be at Mar-a-Lago having $1 million a plate fundraiser and laughing at you. They're laughing at all of you, even if you voted for him.
And Joy, I will tell you, at the very end of his first term, I talked to a friend of Trump who did not want to be named. He said at the time, because I said, doesn't Donald Trump want to be a dictator? And he said to me, Jim, what Donald Trump wants to be is a monarch. It was a friend of Donald Trump who told me this. Donald Trump wants to be a monarch. And look at what they're doing right now. They are so deathly afraid of what's going to take place in next year's midterm elections that they are trying to redraw our congressional maps in places like Texas, Ohio, Indiana, Missouri. They are relying on their MAGA Supreme Court to pull away minority representation in Congress, majority congressional districts where you can have Black and Latino representation in the United States Congress. They are trying to pull all of that away and rig this game for Donald Trump. Donald Trump talks about trying to rig the election. People trying to rig the election. That's what he's trying to do next time around. That is what he's trying to do in 2026. He is afraid of democracy. And so when I hear this stuff about hate America, what I say to that, and listen to what you have to say, Joy, I think what they hate is what America is becoming. What America is becoming is this beautiful, multiracial, multicultural, tolerant country where we respect each other's differences. And they want to take that away. And that is why Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these tech pros are willing to spend billions upon billions of dollars to pull this away from them. And that is what No Kings is about. They will not be the tech kings of this country. Donald Trump will not build he can create all the Olive Garden patios behind the White House and at Mar-a-Lago and everything else until the cows come home. But we're not going to become that country. And that's what they don't understand. And that is why we have to go back to the message we were talking about earlier. People have to not only take to the streets on No Kings Day, they have to take to the streets on Election Day. They have to make sure that these voices are heard at the ballot box come this time around next year.
I want to just tell everyone, we saw some shots of Chicago. So as we start going through the time zones, right, people who are an hour behind New York, they're going to start coming online and doing their marches. And then 2 hours, we'll get to that Central Time, and then we'll get to Mountain Time, and they'll come online and start doing their marches. And also, there are some happening earlier, but the big ones are scheduled usually around noon in those cities. And then as we get out west, Pacific time code zone, we'll get San Francisco and LA, and you'll start to see some of those. But so that is Davenport, Iowa you're looking at. We had Chicago up for a minute. So you see people all over the country who are, out there exercising their First Amendment right to be able to peaceably assemble. And look at that crowd in New York City right now. Is that
Wow.
not amazing?
Wow.
And that
Look at
our
that.
social guys
Wow.
are out there. They said they have gotten one block in
Wow.
over an hour. Here's the thing. I think there's so many people that it's not, this thing that was supposed to be a march through the streets is so big. It has just become a rally of people standing around in New York City and the streets are just
Yep.
filling up, north, south, east, and west. And people are just there celebrating and happy to be together with like-minded people. I am so glad. I have not heard
Yeah.
about any unrest or anything like that.
Nothing.
Nobody out there seems
Nope.
anti-American to me or
Nope.
like
Don.
they're fascist or any of those things, Jim.
I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a beautiful sight that I'm seeing down here right now. And I'm going to just show you. I mean, you were showing Times Square a few moments ago. I'm at what is basically the Times Square of democracy. I'm right basically in front of the U.S. Capitol, right on Pennsylvania Avenue, just down the street from the White House. And look at this massive crowd.
Wow.
It is all around me. It is just going back block after block after block. Thousands of people down here in Washington, D.C., and they're drawn to the very thing that Mehdi was just talking about, that Joy, you and I were just talking about, that Don was talking about. I think this is really heading into the 250th anniversary of America. This is America declaring its independence all over again. And I really, Democrat, Republican, y'all need to come home. Y'all need to come home to American democracy, to what America is all about. America has not always been perfect. Obviously, we know that. It has been, from time to time, it has been unreal. It has been not the place that we want it to be. But I really feel inspired by what I'm getting a little emotional. I'm kind of feeling it right now because I'm inspired by this outpouring of support and love of country that is taking place right now. And you're absolutely right, Don. I mean, what I'm seeing down here is people who there are people coming up to me, putting their arms around me, saying, "Thank you, Jim. Thank you guys for what you do." This is people coming together. This is what we need right now. That's the spirit of what we need.
Amen. And our side is the side that not only loves the country of what it can be. When you have and America is a very young country. It is in the history of the earth, a child, and it is a young country that is still going through its growing pains. And one of its biggest challenges is that it was born as a slave